yeah, today's gonna be open Q&A. I know everybody's really likes the open Q&A, and to do that, and yeah, open Q&A is really good. I think a lot of people get a lot from it, but more importantly, I want to get kind of all the questions and stuff answered before we dive into new material. You've prepared questions? Sure, Jude. Sure, let's hit them first. We'll start right off with Nuke. Floating levels. What is the relevant ladder point? Sure, let's do floating levels. So with floating levels, you always look at a ladder point that was broken. So we can start from highest time frame down. Okay, so let's start this with the cough, please. So a ladder point, a floating level, you go to your highest time frame. We have the 4 hour here, we have a 4 hour here, we have a 4 hour here, right? So these can be combined as one if they're both broken in this same time period, right? You want to define a floating level like this. If this ladder point is broken, it defines this. If this ladder point is broken, it defines the larger piece outside of that. So in this scenario, this isn't much of a, a larger piece to gain. However, this could have also had its own separate move like this, right? Maybe the triangle tool is best here. Right, this ladder point could have had its own much deeper valley like this, right? Classic head and shoulders. Just kidding. When you break over these ladder points, you're defining the rebuy on the highest time frame that's broken as the hold level, right? So if it was this here, you would be right there if you broke that ladder point. I'm sure this is more localized. I'm sure there's a floating level in here based off this. If we went and looked, I'm sure we could see that. And then when you break over both of them, then obviously you're just taking them and kind of just combining them, right? Like you're just taking the deepest point in there. Now it can ladder inside of floating, like floating levels can float to like, if you have this one here, for example, if this was bigger like this, you can break this one. This can be your first entry. And then if there is a deeper spot here, that could be your second entry. So if you do break both of them, that is a possibility. So what you want to do when you have your floating levels is like this. We can even just find some more localized pieces. Maybe just go to the hourly. So here's a ladder point here when that one is broken, and here's a ladder point here, right? Here's two right here. Can attach them by trend if we wanted to, right? Like that would be your trend in the moment, but we're talking about those 2 points here, like this one and this one, right? When you break over top of this one, you're going to want to look inside of the valley that it is, right? If you're breaking in this one, you're going to want to look inside of that valley, but that valley ends up being much bigger just by the default nature because it's here, and then to break over top of it, you obviously have a move down and all this stuff like that. And then the same thing when you break over this valley right here, you're looking at the ladder point inside of that. So if you've laddered this, you're looking at that ladder point, whatever that ladder point is inside of here. So if you were to go deeper into this time frame, right, you go here, when you break this ladder point, you're looking inside of this valley. Like this peak, I should say peak because these are actually peaks, not valleys. Time frame down, got it right here. You can combo level it. Three's tested, backside 3. Lives outside of that. I wouldn't go any deeper than this. I would just go to the 5. It's clean, it's untested. If you go combo level this, you might miss the move. So backside 1, that connects to the 3. Combo levels it to everything. You might miss the move. You might want to just go for the 5. But when you break this, if this move is going to continue moving down, it has to hold this. Play here. I'm not going to sit there and waste my time with that. There it is right there. That's your floating level. That's got to hold. So that's got to hold and develop the move now, because that was this ladder point broken. And then this ladder point broken is obviously the interior piece right here, right? Like that's pretty, that one we can already see on our screen. And you break this ladder point, then this becomes, I mean, we don't need to move time frame down because we already saw it hit on the screen. If you break this ladder point, oh, it's already tested anyways. So there's nothing there to test anyway. So you don't even have a floating level. You don't even have a floating level. It would be basically this has to hold, it's tested. And then basically this has to develop to move the dump, or the move is done. Yeah, move's done. Basically this has to develop here, or the move's done. So whenever you have the ladder point, you have to go to the untested hold high time frame down inside that peak or valley. Nuke says, so if it's a situation with two valleys inside each other with the same floating level. So two valleys inside of each other. Well, that would just be one valley if there were, maybe I need a drawing nuke. You're really good at those. Ship it, draw it and ship it. The relevant ladder point is always the deepest, and then you can take the combo level. Floating levels, what is the relevant ladder point? The deepest, the beginning of the move, the greediest part. First candle, second candle, time frame relevant. Oh wait, that's George. Wait, we'll get back to that. Does the most outer ladder point need to be broken, or is it the more interior ones? Most outer ladder point. I don't know. I don't understand what you mean by most outer point. Let me reread this. Two valleys inside each other with the same floating level. Okay, so we've got, let's find a spot where that is, so maybe I can understand this better. Two valleys. So you've got one valley here. Where would you have two valleys? Like this example that I made where you had, maybe you asked this before I talked about it. Like if you have something like this as one and then this as two, but I already talked about that. So I think maybe you asked this before I talked about it. Ladder, ladder, potential float. Yeah, that's easy. So you're drawing it. That's super easy. So you're drawing it like this. I'm going to just redo Nuke's drawing here in chat. Okay, let me just redraw this. Like this, and then like that. So this would be this. And this would be the same thing as this. So it's just if this float is tested or not. So if you break above this, but not this, and you go down and test this, you're not gonna break this and then retest it. At that point, you would just be like this. Where is it? At that point, you would be like this, Nuke. On the bigger part from out here. So remember, it has to be untested, right? So if this one was already tested because you broke the first point like that and you came back down, you'd be looking for the float inside of here, because this would be the or like this one, those would be the untested. So if you break above this one here like that, then the float is here. But if this was never tested, of course, then the float is this one here. I can't go back anymore, otherwise I get rid of my triangle. So if this one, if this one's never tested, oh dude, trading view is gonna drive me nuts. If this one's never tested and you break above this and you come down and just do whatever, and then you break above this, this is your float. Because that's just like the larger ladder. Does that make sense, Nuke? Everybody? Nuke and everybody? Question mark? Jude with the imp face. We've been preparing questions. Speaking about this, I'm working with a company right now developing a day trading keyboard for us, for our community. So I'm looking forward to that, to stop having these stupid issues. It's the one-handed keyboard. So that'll be super, super hype because we really need a keyboard for like speed charting. It's so ridiculous the way that it's so unintuitive. But Nuke, yeah, you think it does? Okay, if you have any, let's tackle floating levels first. So let's do this. Floating levels. For the low price of $9,999 annual fee, recurring payments. Kidding. No, we'll just I'm spending like there's a company I'm working with and it costs about 10 grand to make a concept, and then I'll just do a group buy for the community. Like, I'm not doing it to like sell a product or make money. They're just gonna sell it. I just want to make something that we can use. And then we'll just do like a group buy for the community. That way everybody can buy it at once for like a low price, maybe like $100 or something. I don't know how much they'll charge for it, but maybe 100 or 150 or 200. I have no idea. But it's expensive and it takes time. It's quite expensive, actually, but I don't really care. I just need a better keyboard for day trade. We need a day trading keyboard because it's like crazy, but it'll be super custom, so that's cool. It'll take a while to do, but yeah, I'm working on it. Okay. Yeah, let's knock out floating levels and then we'll hit up George's question. Mechanical. People will be able to pick their own tactile or mechanical. Can a reverse level be a floating level? No, it cannot be. A reverse level is a reverse level if it's wicked in the wrong color. So on the other time frame, no. A test is a test. So unfortunately, you can't use a reverse as a float. It doesn't mean a reverse can't hold, but it means something completely different. So thing you have to realize about reverse levels and floating levels, a floating level creates a very clear laddering schematic. So it's about the trail that it creates. Okay. So floating level, this creates very easy to follow, very clear trend work. It creates very easy ladder points to break in the future that shows you if a move is rejecting or holding, and it gives you very easy next rebuy spots pre-float and post-float. So that gives you very easy spots to identify. A reverse level like this, a reverse level like this breaks over top of this to go back and test this, gives you lower targets, and you're creating a trail of reverse levels to hit, right? Or something that is and now from back here, I drew this a little wrong. Reverse level being like right here, so that would go like this, like something like that, and then the reverse flow would be reverse level here in the future, which means this got whatever created, you went after this level down here, and then you reversed this in this moment, means that you'd have to follow that trail to here, as to where it might look like a floating level is here. If you were to break over this would show you that, hey, you're supposed to go after the reverse level if you're, because you have to follow that queue of information. So it's more about understanding the queue of information. At that point, you don't have trends. You don't have, like, you may not have trends. You may not have clear moments to hold. And then your trend architecture looks different too, because it's a lot of stuff. When you're in a moment like this, right? When you're doing this reverse stuff, your trend architecture often looks like this, where you have candles that go through it a lot of the times, right? And you just keep holding this trend over time because you're hitting like a reverse level from back here, and then you've hit one from back here because you're following the first test. second test, and then at this point, third right here, and you're still going through them, right? So it's a very different set of architecture when you're using reverse levels than you are with floating levels. Like right now, for example, this hourly is a very easy hourly to follow. This is a very easy trend to follow in the move. It's just like very straightforward. It's not really going after anything but its trends. And this is just like a very like easy follow the trail, kind of make money. 5 minute. This is the next 5 minute that should be hit because it's a reverse level. But there's also trend right here. So there's your trend right here. So trend can hold. But this was a level I was going to buy today. I was doing a little bit of trading. I didn't actually get into a trade. I didn't have time actually, because I was like, crap, I can't even take this Q&A2 mentorship. But this would have been a case where it's like reverse level right here. So this would have been like the next spot to hold it, which would have been what I was talking about just a second ago. But in this case, it's a very simple trail to follow. It's just hitting trend. It has been this whole time. It has been backtesting and holding trend this whole time. This is just adapted. This is simply just an hourly trend that is from here massaged down to the combo trend right there. So it's the same. That's why I have it in blue. It's the same. It's simply trend. It should be right there, I believe. Yeah, just a combo trend, which we'll get into in the future. But I think they're pretty straightforward to see them. So okay, that's can a backside level be a floating level? No. Oh, like backside frontside. Sorry, I'm thinking of a back testing, like backside trends. I'm thinking of on a higher time frame, yeah, but not typically. You want to just go for the greedier combo levels. When you're using floats, you want to go for like greedier combos. A backside's usually just hit a higher time frame body. Reverse levels need to have their ladders broken too. I know. Your range trend needs to be AA or DD, of course. But does that test a float need to be the same color candle too? I think I answered this one already, but maybe not. Say your floating level is tested, but not the correct color candle. So you're talking about time frames. Can you just use the next candle? It's just about following the highest time frame flow. Your range trend needs to be AA or DD. I have no clue what that means. AA or DD. Maybe I'm missing something from earlier. But I'm not sure which levels to use to create it and where the trail gets reset or not. You have to find it highest time frame, sugar. I think I answered that one from Jude. I think I went way too far back. Okay, I'm just going to keep going here. You guys type in the current chat, and I'm going to keep going. When combining it with what breaks you up also holds you down seems to be really powerful. Yep, absolutely. So that's something we talked about. What breaks you up can hold you down. Yeah, so like origin points being support in the future. Thing about origin points, when that happens, say you have an origin point here, right? Like say this is an origin level. What breaks you up also can break you down, or also can hold you up, right? Typically when you break an origin, what happens is you have like a launch off point and you end up breaking the ladder. And then if you go, because origins are breakout, right? So then if you go to the higher time frame, you'll just be like, oh, haha, the origin point was just the floating level, because this one was already back tested in the whole schematic of going and, you know, back and forth between this to get this origin level broken. And it's like, oh, that origin level's a float in the future. Of course, it makes total sense, right? And it should, it really should, because hitting an origin level means you hit it, you pull back, you hit it, you pull back, you hit it, you pull back, you hit it, you pull back. Eventually this just creates a blue candle on a higher time frame somewhere. And then it ends up looking like this. And then it's like, oh, that's the floating level in the future. So origins often turn into floats. So good pickup on that one, Dak. Not sure if that's what you were getting at, but maybe I should read the rest of the question first. The test confirm of a floating level is the last thing that happens before breakout. Yeah. So it seems a test is what creates the moment for the future. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got it. In other words, every moment of breakout was a test of a floating level of some sort. Not a test of a floating level, but the creation of a future floating level. So you often look for like low time frame origins to see where floats get created, but then You don't really need to if you're going high time frame down, because you'll just see them first anyways before. But then that's kind of the cue of how it happens. And since floating levels have more of a distinct criteria, it can just make the moment easier to find. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was getting at. Yeah, I kind of alluded to that. I kind of answered it before reading the question, but yeah, absolutely. Had this from the other day too. Can a backside floating level? Yeah. Oh yeah, so we did that. That's the one I was trying to answer. Typically, a backside is just a higher time frame, and a backside, you'll have a disconnect from the backside to the. Jesus, there was something about this question. I can't get through it. Okay, I gotta slow down. So typically, a backside and a frontside level, you usually combine them from a higher time frame. Like for example, let's look for like a backside frontside combo level somewhere, or just any like backside frontside. Like I'm sure there's something here on a smaller time frame. Like if you were to go like this and say backside, frontside, if you go up in time frame, it's usually just one combo level. See what I mean? Or the backside even starts here. So the backside of one time, or the front side, the front side of the higher time frame usually has backsides of lower time frames inside of it, or vice versa. The backside on the bigger time frame could even be a 15 here. Yeah, it's just usually a combo level from something else. Like even this here is like backside, front side, lower time frame, which even inside of there just ends up becoming like, oh, here's the 5 minute front side, which is technically the 1 minute backside to the front minute the front side 5 minute, which is also the one. So backside, front sides, you always work time frame down for this reason, because otherwise you're just gonna start marking out too many levels that are irrelevant. So that's something really important to realize. Backside, front sides are good for understanding all the points inside of a range, but typically a backside, front side is one range, because the backside and the front side together just end up making up of combo levels. If you're finding them on 15, it could be like a 4 hour. And then the backside front side is like, oh, here's the wick of the 4 hour, which is technically the test of the level on the 4 hour. And then there's a front side backside splitting of that, which just gets into combo levels. So combo levels being like the more advanced version of front side, backside. And then that's the distinction where you can split the time frames apart and say, okay, is this a combo level or not? Because if there's nothing connected inside of it, then you know it's not a combo level. Then you have to go and reassess the level to find it. Now we'll get to Jesse's question here. Do we treat floating level creation range trend just like normal trends? Do we treat floating level trend creation, the range trend, just like normal trends? Yes. The reach point being the first candle touch, or is it the candle that goes deeper inside the float level? I feel like I'm not understanding this question because this seems very, very straightforward. Do we treat floating level trend creation, the range trends, like normal trends? Yes, trends are trends. The reach point being the first candle touch, or is it the candle that goes deeper inside the float level? It's whatever your distribution to distribution candle is. Maybe I'm not understanding this one. Floating level, highest time frame down, ladder broken. Oh, sorry. Ladder broken right here, right? Part of the bigger pieces going on. Ladder broken here, first floating level, second floating level. At this point, you're with trend here though. I don't know why you'd go for anything up in here. I'm sure there was some kind of bounce here. Like I'm sure if you go and look right here, or whatever the deeper time frame is here, I'm sure there's some kind of like bounce. Yeah, right here. There's but I just don't know why you would go for that when trend is right there. Like you're just bouncing between trying to break the moving trend. But I don't know if that really helps me answer the question. Like, okay, what the hell is this question? Reach point being the first candle touch, or is a candle that goes deeper inside the flow? It's whatever the highest time frame distribution candle is. I'm gonna say that because I think that answers it. Oh, so reverse levels need to have their ladders broken too. Just like how a floating level. Oh, this is the one we left off on before I started coughing, and I didn't get to answer the other question. Okay, good. So reverse levels need to have their ladders broken too. Well, it's bigger time frame. It's just the range. It has nothing to do with the reverse level ladder. It's just the range. Just like how a floating level needs to have its ladder broken to confirm. Otherwise, it's just a potential. So reverse levels need to have their ladder points broken too. Reverse levels don't really have ladder points. They're just reverse levels. The range has a ladder point. Yes. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Good. That answers that question. And then George had a question too. Okay. Good. So reverse levels need to have their ladders broken too. I'm just going to mark any level here. That's a reverse level, right? Goes after this level first, right? Because that's also a reverse level. Probably this one too, right? Goes past it, reverses it, follow the trail, because now you know the reverse levels exist. So let's delete everything else so it's not going to be confused here at all. Make it orange for reverse right now. Not that we use orange for reverses, but okay. Hits a level, reverses it, confirming that you need to start a reverse level queue. Okay, so let's walk through this. Floating level, right? Fine, you can even mark here. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Floating level, right? Because you broke this ladder point right here. So this is your kind of floating level. Otherwise, you would be back here. Like you'd be right here because this breaks this, which brings you down into this region here. So you'd be here next. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, level's not tested. Just kidding. It is tested. Okay, good. Too early in the queue to see if this is going for a reverse or if it's just laddering the move. Are we going for a reverse or are we laddering? Oh, we're not laddering because we just hit our reverse level. Okay, good. That means this will be next because this test right here just confirmed that we're in reverse levels. Like it shows you right there on your screen. Do you ladder or do you reverse? You could always go for a reverse as the greediest point, but then the reverses in the future also have to be that. So that the next level to stop this will be this, not this. It's not going to ladder off this. It is going to hit this reverse because it's telling you it's a reverse. There's that. This one's next. It still hit. That's fine. That's next, which means this is next. I haven't even gotten there, so that might be the next spot. But at that point, you break trend. But this queue was easy to follow. This candle over here confirms it, meaning that this one will be a rebuy in the future. This candle confirms this, which means that's your next level. Very straightforward. Wick or body, pick your poison. I don't care. It doesn't matter. They both get hit. It's so close in price, 46 to 34. Like, you know, test. That's fine. Next reverse level right here. There you go. Test, right? So this one hits. There's your move up. Next would be this one here. That hits. That's your move up. Next, this one here. That hits. I'm surprised this actually held this, but I don't think that's even a test of this. But I think at this point I would be using something like this. But you can still use this. Just under trend, it's too risky. Doesn't make sense. Just more about following the flow. Nuke says like this. So you've got the middle peak creates the float on the bottom, goes after the origin level, which it looks like it's going after the origin. The origin isn't a floating level. So you've marked the break level and called it the float here, saying that the reverse is potentially going to get hit. You have to start creating a ladder off an origin at that point, Nuke. At that point, you're being told that this is trying to set up this as a break of a move. So you would deep dive the float at this point. What you've labeled as a float, which is an incorrect label here, it would be origin creation possibility, or just you just mark it origin. You're going to deep dive that to the greediest point that can still hold the float, causing it as an origin. You wouldn't be buying a floating level here as a reverse. Not in your example, because in your example, this is just for the trend question Jesse had. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think those are two trends he's drawing. Moving on. Which is Jesse's question. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I see. Well, I'm glad you guys figured that one out because I was so lost on it. Okay, let's see George's question here. Can't count this candle because it's still too what? Your writing is cut off there, George. Maybe just do like a full screen cap of your screen, so we can see what's going on here. Okay, can't count this candle because it's still touching level. First candle, second candle. Okay, I think this might be in relation to your question earlier. When can we safely mark a hold level? Let me get to your question from earlier. Okay, level development. Any advice on how far in distance? Do you have a timestamp here on this one? Like, maybe I can just look at the timestamp and walk through the move. Any advice on how far distance you want to make before making a hold level? I'm requiring 2 candles to hard close past this level before I mark it. 2 hand hard close. It doesn't have to be 2 candles. No, it doesn't have to be 2 candles. That move can hold on the first candle. Like you see that first touch, the first candle. Can't count this one. You said it can be the first touch, but I would like to just go into this. So I'm gonna look at where is this Cardano on Tether? So June 25th. Cardano. This is a 1 hour time frame. Okay, so Cardano's ADA. Okay, and this is June 25th. So this looks like right here, maybe? No, it's right here. You could be different time zone than me. So let me look. Okay, so you're a 1 hour time frame. You've got first we need to get to the right time frame, and that's like really recent here. So you are June 25th. Where the hell is this? Is it right here? 16th? Oh, right. I didn't look at the date on the bottom. The 16th. Yeah, of course. So stupid. This is like this right here. Okay, I got it. Okay, so you've got... Okay, so what I would do here, if you're looking for the rebuy, you have to first off start high time frame down. So daily, of course not. 4 hour. Here. Gain this 4 hour to create the level architecture. So this is where we start with this trade. Inside of here, that's a 4 hour body. You have the combo levels like backside, front side. This front side is tested right here. So this is tested. If you were to go inside of here, you might even be able to find backside 15 tested. Also hits the backside 5. You do have like the 3 and 5 combo here. So you do have 5 and the 3 here. So this might be your kind of ideal level on this thing. Was this ever tested? It wasn't tested. So that's fine. If it's not tested, if you had a short there, it's not tested. So instead it just goes after the 15-minute backside. So you got kind of a 3 time frame connection. You've got the hourly, you've got the 4 hour, the hourly here. Come on. And then you're gonna have like the 15 combo level, right? Like so you've got like 3 shorts here, or like 3 spots where the short could execute. So this is like the first way you have to look at this. Which level is tested? So now we're gonna walk forward and it's just all blue candles as we know, right? Loses the 4 hour level and it dumps, right? Like it's gonna try to hold this 4 hour level, loses it, dumps. The next spot you'd be looking at here is this right here. You can use this as your next spot. Like it is still inside the 4 hour as a combo level, even though it's tested. This is kind of the next spot you'd use, and maybe even you just want to use the backside here. Combo 15 is tested. You would just want to use the backside. So when you can count the level is what you're asking. You can count it at any time here. You can count it at any time. Just realize that like this here is already tested. So you can use this and then the combo levels inside. So if we were to go to that 15, excuse me, and find that same spot with a 5 and a 3, I would almost wonder if this is what was tested, because this is kind of like you're testing the 4 hour time frame right here. You're testing the 4 hour time frame. You're testing the 4 hour time frame, and you're just testing the combo level inside of it. So you're just testing this part of the 4 hour candle. So you don't have to. It wasn't just any chart. But sure, the 16th. Yes. Okay. Good. Perfect. Like you can use this. You would just use this combo level inside the 4, and you would just say, is this 4 holding the move down? And if it does go to this point, then in the future you could use the 4 hour as a reverse. You'd likely more likely want to use the body of the candle here. So you'd more likely want to go deeper inside of this 4, somewhere deeper inside of this, use this, and then use this as a reverse to create ladder points. So just take the replayer tool off. Haven't hit it yet. That's the 4 hour that's being hit. So just the 4 hour range is holding, and now it's starting to ladder off that 4. So there's nothing really else to see here with this move. Like your 4 hour level is here. Always start high time frame down, right? And then you can find your combo levels. Like these can be marked as hold levels. It's just how deep in the range are you going to go? Like if you're going to go deep into this 4 hour range, it's going to be here. You also have trend, but this one, of course, you have to start high time frame down. 4 hour. No combo trends. Nope. Which we haven't even got into yet, so I wouldn't even really worry about that or the implications of what they do. Always start hard time frame down, because that's going to give you your spots where it's either you're testing the level itself or you're going deeper in the range to create it as a potential reverse. The only thing I didn't look at is if this could possibly be a floating level on the bottom. Did it break a ladder point on the bottom to make this a float? Yeah, right here. So that's a floating level on the 4 hour, because you've got both time frames. Even on the daily, you might be able to create a float here. There's no level inside of there. The only floating level would be here inside the daily, which would be up here, and then the larger piece of it here, which would be backside. So when you break this, you could ladder this as a float. On the 4 hour time frame down, you break this here, you can use this as a float. Simple as that. There's your ladder point for that valley, which on the higher time frame there is none, because otherwise it would be like this, right? And then you break that float there, right? So when you break this float here, like when you break below this, you can use this as just a rebuy. It's just a very standard floating level. Ladder point, break below it, use that as the float. So just be a floating level there. Floating levels are pretty good for that. You can buy an untested hold level that's a ladder point. It's typically a float. Excuse me, I couldn't reach my mute key in time there. Sorry, everyone. I'm sure I'm like destroying everybody's ears. Apologies. Okay, let me catch up here. Can an origin be back tested multiple times or only once after being broken? No, it can back test multiple times. Absolutely can back test multiple times. Where's an origin here? Oh, just start high time frame down. There's not going to be anything past the 1 hour here. Right here. This is the origin. It's not broken yet though. Anything on the top side that we could use? We might have to go further back in time to find this. Origins, hello. This looks like one right here. What was this testing? You've got, okay, yeah, the 15-minute right here, right? Like this was that part of the move. That, and I don't think there's any hourly here as well. There's an hourly here, but it was never created. So you've got this right here. Origin on this side, origin on that side. Is there any other origins that have been broken? No, it's been sitting in a range here, so that wouldn't be really a great spot for an origin. But if it backtests, so go like under it and backtest it multiple times. Where's a spot where we have an origin here? Maybe there's something in here. 5 minute here. No, no. Let's work with this. Find the first level. It's an origin. Nothing there, nothing there, nothing there. Nothing there. Here's one right here. Here's that origin on the 5. Anything else in here that we might be missing? Any other origins? No. This is the same thing as the 5 and the 3 are the same here. So there's the 5. This could possibly be a smaller one. We'll mark them both to see which one is tested here. Well, I'm sure they're both going to be tested. Like, yeah, right there. It's not about which one is going to be tested. Just which one is going to back test, I suppose, would be the better way to say it. That's gone. So this is already hard closed and broken. So that's not going to be, it's a 3 minute, right? Yeah. So this is gone. There's no point in having that one. Back to the 15 here. Yeah, they can be back tested multiple times though. Oh, come on, man. There it is, right there. So you can back test this multiple times. If you're laddering it, something else is obviously going on. Like you're just not back testing it at that point. You're just creating something right here. Is that the 15 minute? So you're just simply creating this one here. So in this case, you wouldn't go and back test this you need to hold this, not this one. That would just be gone at this point. But you could have in that moment back tested that one, and that one's gone. So this is gone. So you can't even use this one here. Like this is, it's tested and its move is lost, right? Then you back test it, you break back over it. Yeah, this one's gone. Well, there's no back test there. But anyways, to answer your question, yeah, you can definitely back test origins multiple times. Profit capping question with origins. Say you hit an origin of X time frame and target another origin of X time frame. Are we talking about 2 different time frames? You're just saying X, so I'm not sure if you're talking about 1 or 2 time frames. Say you hit an origin of X time frame, target another origin of X time frame. I think you mean 2 different time frames. You delete it when you hard close it on the same time frame. Kens, like in that scenario that I just wrote out, Kens, you have I'll get back to your question here, Jude. In that scenario, where I marked out the other time frame. It's where was that example? Right here. So you had your first origin here, right? Well, it was a little deeper than this. It was kind of something like this. But then you created this origin instead. Like when you tested that and hit it a second time, this origin is not used anymore. Like you can back test it, that's fine. Like if it's whatever right here, you can back test it, but in this scenario it didn't. It actually created its own origin here. So this would be more important to you're not going to lose this and hold this one, like a $20 difference. That's silly. Delete the origin once you hard close it on the time frame it's created on. But that doesn't mean it can't go and backtest that origin if it blasts over top of it in the future. You would delete it if you're trying to take shorts on it. Like if you're trying to if you're only trying to short this origin right here, like if this is the origin, wherever it was, if this is the origin, right? Like if this is the origin and you're trying to take shorts against it, delete it when you're above it. But if you're trying to take a long on it, you can still keep it up, and you break over top of it, you can long it. But that's to say it was here. I don't think it was. I think it was like right here and it never got hit. You could take a long on it after you break over it if you've hard closed it. Okay, I'm gonna get back to Jude's question. Say you hit origin of X time frame and target another time frame. X equals same time frame. Okay, like 3 to 3 on either side. Once one side breaks, you are likely to target an origin on the next. No, that's not. You're not likely to target the next high time frame. It's whatever's on your chart. You have to see what's being targeted on the higher time frames. It's not just because one origin breaks doesn't mean the other one is like automatically going to go after the next origin. It's whatever's on your chart. If you've got bigger information and it's trend to trend, you've got to do your job to see what bigger time frame is in play, instead of just saying like, oh, we broke a 3 minute, let's go to 5. You're working up in that scenario. Never work up, always work down. If you break something, start back from the top and work down. Start back and go look for your trends, your bigger time frame origin levels. Don't work up in time frames. Work down from higher time frames to see what the ultimate targets are. Is there anything more to the trends marked distance down angle of the bottom side of the chart when all time lows? How do those things we know with what? How do those interact with things we know? All time lows I won't talk about. All time highs I won't talk about. I feel like those are never talked about. Why is that? When is it a real use case? Yeah, I'm not talking about that. Future material. Like talking about all time lows and highs? Yeah. Yeah, no. Nice try, Nuke, but no. Kens, thank you. Then when do we consider an origin gone? When do we do it? Yeah, just to get like ultimate clarity on that, we'll just find another origin somewhere else in the chart. This could possibly create an origin in the future. Oops. Right here. Tested, origin, holds, larger breakout. 5 minute right there. At this point, like when you're looking at this origin, if this breaks, it can go after this target, right? If this breaks and it goes after this target, and it can backtest this origin and start developing a ladder against this. Alternatively, you know, you don't this targets, you can use that. This is now an origin, does whatever, comes back here. You can still use this as a short. If you were using this as a long, which you can because it is an origin right here, or if you were uncomfortable and you wanted to wait for this, you could still use it in an origin as an entry long, right? But if you're trying to enter this thing long, once this hard closes, like that's it. You're not taking more longs on this side of it. Like once this hard closes, this is gone. You can leave it up to say like, oh, that's an entry for short, but you have to realize that this is no more longer territory. Even if you go like this, close this candle here, and then go back up, you are never taking a long here. Hold or not, the risk is too high. Yeah, right here, see? Origin breaks to target the next origin. There's a test, and then it just obviously it's going to collapse here. There, that point here, because this is a 5 minute, right? Yeah, you would never take a long on this now, but you could use it as like a short target entry. Like you could have shorted it there. I don't know if I would have shorted it there at that point. I think that's a little too premature, because it could just be holding like a floating level, or just be creating a different origin on another time frame. I only marked out the 2, but like at this point I wouldn't use it. Hit the hourly. At this point it's already like tested. It's already tested and moved. There's going to be something else in play here. For example, just a trail, right? This ladder point to this ladder point right here to this. So I would be either using this at this point, or would not be using this, or this. So I would ladder down off of this, break the move, break above this to enter accumulation. So that would ladder the move down. Move ends up holding, I think. Anyways, I don't know. There's the origin. That just enters accumulation zone. That's just the entry right there. So that's where you would enter short against this. But yeah, like at this point you could use this as a long target if you wanted. Like go over top of it, back test it. As long as you know what you're looking for on charts, this stuff's all easy to find. You just have to understand the flow of the charts. What time frame was this created on, by the way? There's a 5. Is there anything else higher? So you got to make sure you have the right time frame. Not a 15. I don't think it can possibly be an hourly here. So it is a 5. Okay, well, it's broken here. You're no longer using it. At this point, you're just having to follow the trail of ladders. That one... Is there a higher time frame tested? The 15? 15's broken. I don't know if I'd use a 15 here. Is there an hourly by chance? No. Here, 5 minute there. Is this tested? Not really. This will break the move. The 15 can also break the move here. Like this test here, ladders to here, ladders to there. So now there's a gap in the charts from here, which is already being tested all the way up to that level. Yeah. Oh, stop. Yeah, like there's no more origin in play here. It's broken, right? Like we saw that from back here. Whatever this 5 minute is, it's broken already. So the breakout point isn't like that's broken. The breakout point isn't there. The breakout point is somewhere else in the chart. You just have to go through your time frames and find it. What is it? Back target a 5 minute here, 5 minute origin on top, hits a 5 minute hold on the bottom. Is there any origins on the bottom? Right here. That's your 5 minute origin on the bottom. Right there. It's broken though. You can't, wait a second. Not broken, is it? It is, right there. Okay, is there anything else? Yeah, there's this. Is this one broken? Nope. So that's the one right there. And that's onset by this 5 minute to this 5 minute. This one starts laddering on this side and this one's already broken. This 5 starts laddering and this 5's broken. So this 5 was broken here. Come on. This 5's broken here, right? So at this point going forward, after this moment, it gets broken. Do you backtest this or do you start laddering off of it? And that's how you can see. Well, it's simple. You ladder off it instead of backtesting the origin. So this origin's broken, this origin's laddering, then you get your move up. So hopefully that helps with origins a little bit. I'm not sure what the trend even is at this point. I have no idea. Right back down to its origin. Anywho, back to the questions. Just doing a little bit of extra work on that one there. I think I was supposed to answer Jude's question. No, I did. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. And then Nuke asked the all-time high-low stuff. Backside trends, don't use them, dude. I've talked about backside trends a million times. You made a drawing bouncing off a backside trend. I don't know what value this is, dude. This is completely useless. I always tell you guys, don't use backside trends. Unless I'm not understanding this drawing, this is like a backside trend you're hitting. It's so useless. I'm not gonna answer that. I've answered that one a million times. Don't use them. Straight to the point, Nuke. Straight to the freaking point, man. Yeah, you always have to look for the other information on the other side of the chart, right? This is the question. Can we backtest multiple trends, backside trends? Don't, it's just... Okay, Marcus had a question. Don't worry, Nick, I still love you. Can you elaborate on how time frame targeting works? Okay, so I think this maybe have helped to the little example I just did, Marcus. Great question. In the past, you said something along the lines of that upon hitting a certain time frame level, you can add another level of the same time frame to be tested again. Yeah, so like on that little example I just did, what you saw was a 5 minute targeting a 5 minute. I don't even know where it went. Maybe I can just kind of like control Z back to it or something. I don't know. Was it here? Like 5 minute level. This might have been it. I don't know. I don't even know. Ethereum. Did we do this on Ethereum or something? Maybe we did this on ETH and I just wasn't paying attention. I don't know. Okay, it doesn't matter really, to be honest with you. No, we didn't do it here. It kind of does matter. Where the hell was that example? Maybe it was like, oh yeah, it was way up here. Okay, good. Hourly that got hit. And we're in the 5 minute stuff here. Right, so we were like right here. Yeah, like time frames target other time frames, right? Like if you have a 5 minute origin here that's being tested, look to create the one on the bottom side. So then you're stuck between two 5 minute origins, right? It was this one, right? Like it was this. Did it actually break? I don't know why I moved forward in there. You shouldn't move forward in time frames. This shouldn't be used anymore. There's got to be something else we're missing here. 5 minute to 5 minute, 5 minute right here. Maybe it's back here. No, that's broken. Can't use that. Five minute to 5 minute. Like there's a 5 minute here and that's fine, but I want to use the right one. That's just like a quick example. This isn't an origin either. Is there something bigger time frame that we're missing then? 15. It's not even an origin though. Well, it is. But you should be using the 5 here. So 15 to 15. 5 is broken on this side. That 5 is broken on that side. So you can move to the 15 here. Because this 5 is broken. You've got this one here, this 5 here. That's fine. You've got this 5, I believe. Yeah, it was here, right? We already saw that. This is broken. And this is broken on this side. So this one's broken here. This is broken here. So that's fine. You can delete those. What about 15s? 15. So origin targeting origin, just like broke the 5 here. You broke the 5 here. That's fine. So which side of this continues to ladder the move? So the 15 should continue to ladder the move here. And if the 15 continues to ladder the move, then you're going to be moving against this origin, right? So this is what you're talking about, like time frames, like things, like moves targeting moves, right? How did you put it in Discord? Move 2 candles to the left on the 5-minute from where you had it. Did I miss one? I don't think so, did I? No, there's nothing there. This is broken. It's not this, because it can't be, because this is the origin level. This, you don't just take an origin level and keep floating it to the right. That's not how origins work. No, there's nothing there. Unless I'm just completely so blind. Oh, this is never an origin, but this one is right here. This is an origin. So 15 versus 15, Marcus, right? Like you've got, let me read your question. You've said something along the line. Is it certain time frame level you can hit another time frame level of the same time? Yeah, so the 5-minute was broken top side, 5 minutes broken bottom side. That's fine. You've got the 15 minutes. Do you have any hourly? You're not really going to have any hourly here. No, hourlies are the ladder points. They're just kind of creating floating levels, these hourlies. So you've got 15, 15, right? This 15 should hold it up. If this 15 holds it up, you're starting to break this side of the move. Next level would be here. You could use this as a reverse, but you're not in that reverse trail, right? So actually you're just right here as the deeper part of the move. So this would, if this was wicked way past, like for example, this one here, wicked way past, but it's creating an origin. So you're not really at that point. You can use this as a deeper point to this. What's the price difference? We don't know yet. We don't know which one is going to target, 8% or 16%. You could use this right in between both levels. This one's tested though, so you don't know at this point. Like if you were to rewind it here, you don't really know at this point what's being targeted. Like you could have used this, but you might miss the move. But you're not in a reverse queue yet, regardless, because you're hitting an origin. So if you have an origin on this side and you have an origin on this side, one side is going to start laddering and the other side is not. That's fine. This goes here. Next, you would kind of have to ladder off of this in order to hold this move down. So this would have been like your first target, right? Like Pandora's box, 15, 15, target. Oh, come on. Target, right? You break this right here. Floating level inside the valley right here. That's fine if you want to justify it as a float, but it also hit the origin here. So this should hold it down. Where's our next button here? Goes above, hits that origin. So if this starts laddering off of this, you're going to see this is telling you that this move is breaking on the top side. So if this holds the move, like think about it. You've got origin, targeting origin. This side keeps getting held and this side is laddering, right? So you've got a pretty clear identification that this side is going to break, especially if this is holding. Is there any like further target you could go after here? You might be able to go after the 1 hour reverse as like a final push. You have hit this reverse pretty perfectly. You could go after this if you were in this trade right now, you could say, okay, let's long the break of this origin right here. So let's long the break of this based on this reverse, because if this reverse holds, it means that it's gone after its most polarized point of the move. The 15 is laddering here, and that's it. I don't know if you're going to get entry here, but if you didn't take entry on this, your options are hourly origin, to reflect this one right here, which would be really thin. Reverse level, or you might just miss this move. So if you're in this moment, you might want to target this. Holy shit, we got it. It actually did. Oh, let's go, dude. Oh, let's go. That feels so good. Never gets old. You could now say this is your next target. This one's gone. You could reverse it again. So now this would be like your 10, your 9. I don't know. You're getting pretty thin on getting into this thing here. It did it. Look at that. Perfect. Never gets old. Always feels good. So yeah, you're getting a little more complex into your comparatives here, Marcus. Like, you're definitely asking the right questions. You're getting more complex into it, but you would be assessing the RA against the current frame of the move. Hopefully that helps, Marcus, with like timeframes, target timeframes. It's a little bit more advanced than normal, but you asked the right question, man. So yeah. Can there be a 15 top bottom? Okay, good. The line did the thing. Do you see how... Not we, you. Oh, thanks, man. But do you see how we kind of walk through that, Marcus? How, like, going back to this move, you're starting to identify where time frames can target time frames. Like, this time frame is equal to this time frame here. Like, these are equal in relationship, because we had the 5 was broken, 5 was broken. So we just kind of delete both of those. If one of those 5s had held, like if this one was still intact without hard closing, you would say that this is likely moving down, because now it's the architecture has changed. This hard close, let's pretend that hard close never happened. Now the architecture changed. Now we have a 5-minute holding on the top and a 5-minute on the bottom collapsing. And instead of a 5-minute, we've now had to adjust it to a 15-minute. If we've had to adjust the bottom side to a 15-minute and this 5-minute continues to hold, all of a sudden we start either holding that 5-minute again. That would be trying to break the 15, because it's like a smaller time frame holding against a larger time frame. If we also laddered that move somewhere, like, okay, you test this at 5 here, all of a sudden you start going back, you hit this 15 here, like let's say this is the 15, and then you ladder this here, like that's also telling you this 15 is breaking. You see, because it's all about this 5 minutes staying intact and then starting to develop architecture thereafter. So timeframes targeting timeframes, and then when both 5s are broken on both sides, then it's 15 against 15. When you have 15 against 15, one side of this is breaking, right? Like this 15 is holding, right? Like this 15 holds right here. So you're just going back and forth, like holds, fine, sure, holds, everything is equal. All of a sudden we have an hourly reverse after this. So this one holds. Oh, we did that wrong, sorry. 15 holds, goes up, 15 holds. I think at this point both 5s are broken. So it's just like all is equal at this point, right? Hourly reverse, if this holds the move, all of a sudden this 15-minute is in succession. This has held, so now it has to go back and target this. If it doesn't target this and this holds it, you're saying hit the reverse to break the top side of the move. Because this is now your new 10. Like this isn't really... This is your 10 if the move is laddering. Understand that. This is a 10, but this can also be a 10 too. But this is a 10 if the move is laddering. This is a 10 if you're still stuck in a Pandora's box between seeing which side is going to start compression first. So if this holds, it is the 10 for the break of the move. So there can be two 10s here and it holds. And then the next point is back testing this, because there might be like a ladder point in here that you combo the back test off of. But then you're creating another like origin. Now you've got a 15-minute here and an even higher time frame, which is a 1 hour here, right? Like a 1 hour here. So that might be your next 10, or you could have had like some kind of combo inside of here. I don't know. Maybe you have like a little, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you have like a little 3-minute level that combos with that hourly origin. Like this might be a little thin. I don't know if you're going to get all the way back here. What else do you have? You've got a 5 minute that's tested. Yeah, you can go there then, because this is the you can go here. You can go here. I don't know if you're going to. You might want to front run it a little bit on this one, like right here. 590. What was the price? 581. And this is 615. I don't know. 615 to 581. There's not a big difference there. 10%. You might want to just deep dive it a little bit. You might want to do something just like this. 93. I'm sure you can find a level in there, but I'm just going to do this just quickly because I don't think it's, yeah. So there you go. You do target that back inside of the move, right? So you do target that like little piece there, and then you back target this hourly, and like you're just laddering those 10 points. So a really nice question, Marcus. Classic, answering my question that I'm not typing. Yep, definitely gonna need to rewatch play on this one too. So I didn't put the replay up from last week, but I'm gonna put both of those up today. The replay from last week had some processing issues and it wasn't available for the first 2 days. I got an email over it saying that it had to be reprocessed and it's in queue. Sometimes that happens. It happened last week, so I wasn't able to put it up, and then all week I was with chart raiders. So by the time I got the email Monday night, I didn't have time. So I'm gonna put this replay and last week's replay up today. I'm gonna take a small break, let my voice rest for a minute, maybe get some coffee or something here, because I need to yeah, and then we'll come right back to this and we'll get back into more questions. So you guys can like type your questions in the chat if you want, and then we'll just get to them. But great question on the targets, targeting targets. My favorite one of the day so far. So good job, Marcus. I think that one will help a lot of people to understand like how a move is developing based on the comparatives that are going on in the move, and then using which side of which is breaking first. And it goes back to identifying what's at the very first part of the move, like 5 minute versus 5 minute here. I identify one side first and then let that criteria develop on the other side. For example, just before I go, when is this 5 minute developed? Right here. So now you know some 5 minute is going to be developed on this side. So now you're looking to, once this is developed, now you're saying like, okay, we've got 5 minute criteria, trying to develop somewhere on this chart, find where it develops. And then you're just looking for that development point on the chart somewhere. Like you're just saying, okay, until we have that developed down here, if we never develop it, we're laddering up, because it's just as simple as that. You're not developing the mirror criteria, you're just laddering up. Unless you create a higher criteria at this point here, if you were to stop this and say, oh, we created a 15 minute down here somewhere, right? Like if there is the actual creation of about 15 minutes somewhere, which there is, then you can use a 15 on the top. Could be here, right? So then, yeah. I'm sure there's lots in there that I missed, but just as a quick example, just as a very, very quick example, like it's not it because it breaks right there. So I think that was the point where that 15 created. But yeah, again, this is just like a very quick, like just to show, like find the criteria on either side, or it has to develop and then you mirror it to the other side. And you said you're having a hard time with RA. What exactly are you having a hard time with? I define RA based on the greediest level being a 10, and then everything else above that being a 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So it depends what you mean by you're having a hard time. Like which part of that? What exactly are you having a hard time with in RA? Because I just marked the greediest point as a 10. The next is a 9. The next is an 8. The next is a 7. Which level do you consider to define that? Greediest is 10. Well, there's a bit of you can't mark every single level on your chart. You mark every single level on your chart, you're gonna end up with like a million RA levels. It's just about understanding the actual points of polarity in a chart. Pick a random spot like this right here. If I was gonna define this for RA, you have to find the highest time frame down points first. This could be your 10 because it could create a 4-hour origin, move up from there. What else do you have? This already is. No, it's not. Not yet. It's not an origin. Neither is this. This is an origin. That would be my 10. If that's my 10, then I want to start going back to my higher time frames. Start here. This would be my 9. Look for the combo level inside of it. Laddered here. Laddered there. Touch that. Not really a candidate for a reversal. Nothing deeper. So this would be my 10. This would be my 9. This would be my 8, maybe. I'm moving time frame up right now, which you shouldn't, but that's, I know it can't be any lower. Could also be an 8. We'll just use them both. They're $10 apart. There's your origin that can act as support. So there's your 8. 8 means it would need quite a bit of time to develop, but it creates its own shield right here. More so important is the 9 and the 10 in this scenario. So 10. Go back down to here. 10, 9, 8. So this was my 10. This is my 9. This is my 8. So you have to work through the move in a logic flow sense to see where 10, 9s, and 8s exist. This would definitely not be a 10 because you can still go deeper in the move. You could even actually go back to trend here, but I don't think there's a big case for like breaking this, going down to trend. Maybe not until you get over here more. But then you're just picking between these two. Which one is the 10? This is still the 9 as it was before. This is the 8. Once the 8 is hit, the time bomb is started. So you're somewhere between like an hour, 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes. So you're somewhere between, yeah, that hour, about an hour and 15 minutes for it to develop. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then, you know, you could still be in the trade, not triggered out. But at this point, like if the moves doesn't start developing, you got to get out of the trade. But it does, it develops right here. So then you would just simply be right here next. But then you would have to re-RA this move against the current range. So this would be the 10 against this range, which would be, you know, could go into a deeper range there. So that would be the 10 against that range. And then you use your floating levels, combo levels, all that stuff. This stuff never gets tested, actually, I don't think so. You're just working from the greediest point in the range. That's it. You're just working from the greediest point in the range. Hopefully that helps. There's a bit of polish to it. Like you have to understand what can be targeted in a trade in order to define 10, 9s, and 8s. If you just start marking every single part of all the moves, just like, oh, this is a 10, this is a 10, just because it's the deepest point, there still has to be a bit of a finesse to it where you do understand what can and can't be targeted. Like in this instance, on the bottom side, like you can't really target to create this 4 hour without already hitting this, because in order to create this 4 hour, you're going to be somewhere between losing a 15-minute, somewhere between like gaining this, going back over top of that. It can happen, but right now this is the 10. This is the 10 right now. Another problem with this is that, yes, it could target for sure, but you know when, because if it's targeting out here, then you're breaking your trend. You're going to target this, go like this, and then you end up losing trend, and then you just dump down anyway. So there's kind of a what can happen versus what will happen reality there. It's perfectly fine to target this for the first time here. In the first target, that's fine. But like at that point, you've created your trend. Have something holding you. Could you have targeted again in this immediate part of the move? Yeah, you could have. You could have. You could have been like right here and then gone and did like the next blue candle goes and targets this and holds it, and that could have happened for sure. So that was the 10 there. This one would have been a little harder to justify buying because you might have wanted to create this. You might have wanted to create it, but you know, you're not always going to hit every target you want to. That's not the way charting works. You're going to have a 4 hour that could have been created here. Doesn't mean it will. This could, you know, we could go out sometime into the future here, go like this up to here and just like constantly go up here for a while. And then if that doesn't hold, then you go down and hit this one. That's, you know, something that could happen in the future, but doesn't mean it's not a good target. It just means it didn't get hit because the 15 held it. And if the 15 holds it, then, well, you saw how I did that. The next part of it would have been like, I don't even remember how I marked this thing up, but I'll just do it again. Next one would have been here. Hold this. You could just go like right here. 20,012, right? If it never gets hit, I think there was like some kind of like 5-minute origin, right? Like over here, something like this over here. 5-minute origin. This would be a good target for your long. And if the 5-minute origin breaks, it'll be just like a good rebuy target. Like going back to the question that was asked earlier. Who asked it earlier about like target can be? Somebody asked it earlier about origin being a target. How many times it can backtest? I'm just looking for it right now. I guess it doesn't really matter whoever it was. You know, this target, that's the target from here to here. If it breaks over it, it breaks over it. And I'll back test it, but I think at that point we already had the level marked down somewhere else. Oh no, it was the more interior part of the move. It was here, right? Yeah, it was here. Well, that's fine. That's still an origin breakout anyways. That's fine. There was definitely something that was like right in here. Maybe it was a 3-minute that we found. No, it wasn't a 3. Maybe it was a 5. It was a 5-minute. 5-minute right here, right? Yeah, 5-minute right here. And then there was a 15-minute level, I believe, right over top of it, something like that. Or maybe it was this part of the range. I don't know. It doesn't matter where it was. I marked it up earlier. Doesn't really matter where it was. It might have been this. It might have been down here. It was whatever the first part of this move was. Here, I thought it was a 5-minute. Yeah, it was a 5-minute right here. Okay, fine. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Hit the 15, have the origin, break above the origin, backtest the origin. Yeah, that's right, because then this one here, that was the 10-9-8, right? Like that was your 10-9-8, and then this has to hold over time. I think there was a. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. It doesn't matter. That's fine. I'm not sure. Dak, you'll have to give me a screenshot. I'm not sure what you're talking about. 15? This? Never broken? Yeah, that's never broken. That's even better. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is the origin right here. Right there turns into an origin. And it just hits right there. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like the origin, just identifying the right spot of it. yeah, you just go back further in your charts, right? Like always, yeah, that's the origin for sure. Could have been an hourly here, but I believe that's a 4 hour as well. Yep. As long as it's not broken, you can use it. Just means you get better entry. Means you got entry here on this trade. Means you got perfect entry here. Move continue to hold. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's still in play. I'm not sure if that was your question, if that's still in play, but yeah, that's the right origin. This isn't broken. Yeah, I just didn't mark the right one. Simple as that. I wasn't looking back further. I just kind of found the most interior point. Rejection as a target comes out tomorrow on YouTube. So for the new butterfly effect too. So we'll be doing lots of questions about that next weekend, but also next weekend, we're going to be focusing on new material as well. So this weekend is just Q&A, catch everybody up on these kind of last end questions, right? And then next weekend, we're going to do new material, but tomorrow there's a butterfly effect 2 coming out. So I was gauging in the open chat what people want, and maybe we can get some input in here as well. What do people have a need for more right now? Managing current trades that we're in, or better accuracy, more pinpoint stuff like what Marcus was alluding to, like targets, stuff like that, or more of managing a trade when you're in a trade? Like blueprint or butterfly effect? What do you guys feel like you need right now, guys and girls? Because next weekend I want to get into new material. I want to get all the open Q&A done this weekend, because we were supposed to do one earlier this month, but we didn't because we did different mentorship stuff. But I want to get all the open Q&A done today so that we can move on next week into new material. So I need to know what people want: more accuracy or managing a trade. It's like split right down the middle. This is the problem I had in open chat. Looks like managing a trade is going to win it. Let's see. It's pretty split, but so far looks like managing a trade is more required from people right now, which I agree. Okay, well, do we have any more open chat questions? If not, we can wrap it up and be done for the day, or we have more open chat questions, we can tackle them. Kind of up to you guys at this point. Seems like 2 hours went by really quick. It doesn't feel like 2 hours. The most important thing I find right now is to make people better singularly. Even, like I said, even if you're on a team, the most important thing in my mind right now is to make everybody better as a standalone trader, because you'll do more for your teams, and not only for teams, but just for people in mentorship who are not wanting to be on teams. You know, you'll do more as a trader, just focusing on singular growth right now. Even if you're on a team, because singular growth, you bring it to a team, right? So yeah, there's going to be a push next month, a big push in July here, to go over new material, focus on singular growth, getting people again upgraded to a new point. Yeah, go ahead, Kens. It's fine. We're doing all open Q&A today, so any kind of like catch up questions for people. It's good to get people all on the same page. or to just kind of go over any open questions. And it does lead to a lot of good open talk about different things. So if you have questions, ask them. Noah asks in regards to continuum of a trend. It is to continue. If it is to continue, does it have to break and hold some level within the reach point? One time frame down. Well, I'm going to be posting that lesson up again, Noah, so that might help. I'm going to be posting that lesson up today, so that might help you with that. Let me just reread your question, make sure. It is to continue. So if continuum is true, does it have to break and hold some level within the reach points one time frame down? I wouldn't look at it as one time frame down. The architecture of each trade will be different. So I wouldn't define it by time frame like that. Unless I'm misunderstanding your question. I'm going to reread this a third time. If it is to continue, so that's after the moment, so that's post hold level or floating level tested, that continues the move. Does it have to break some hold level after continuum? It's not that it has to break a certain hold level, it's more about what could reject that move down on the other side. So creating a bigger time frame on the opposite side of the chart maybe would be a way to think about that. Not breaking a level, not breaking a level down a time frame, but maybe creating a level above a time frame, if that makes sense. Like you hit a target on the bottom side and that target starts to create a time frame above continuum. That would be one way to look at it. That would be what you would be more looking for in targeting. That makes sense. I think it should. That might make more sense after tomorrow, once the new butterfly effect is out about rejection as a target. But just remember that for after tomorrow. Dax says, thing about accuracy, so many levels are constantly getting hit and offering a place to make money. So you can be imperfectly accurate and still be a money printer, but you can be perfectly accurate and still not make money due to bad management. I agree with that wholeheartedly, Lagendak. That's why I like the that's why I like more of the blueprint at the moment, but I always let my audience decide. Ken says, I'm also confused about trends. Can you explain when you decide to adapt them in time frames? They're created on versus in smaller time frames, and how you array them, taking that into account. Like, are you talking about a cycle? Ken's like when to adapt a time frame? Just when you hard close it. Yeah, I'll wait till you elaborate a bit more on this, Ken's, and then I'll try to answer this as best as I can. Can you explain when you decide to adapt them in time frame? I think you're talking about a cycle. Adapting it to smaller time frames will just give you more accuracy, not necessarily a long-term result. So don't worry about that. Like if you're gonna do a trend, highest time frame available, you can see that the trend should start somewhere in here. And then you have to hit your floating level to create your trend, right? So base point, reach point like that, right? Like you've hit this here, and it's not quite done its move. We might even have to go like lower time frame to find this. Here, you broke below it. Did you hit that floating level after it? Yep. So you can use this from here to here. So you use that because you have break the floating level Oh, sorry. So, break the ladder point, create the floating level here, and then you have that right there is your trend. So on that breaks, you have one of two options. You can adjust it here to go to your next time frame up, right? So you've got this, then you've got this, and this is your classic cycle in a trade. Right, I'm sure you should just go to like a bigger time frame here. I don't even know if this thing gets hit again. On ETH, it does. It does. Okay. See? So you hit it, pull back, break above it, and now you'd be going larger time frame again, kind of repeating that cycle. But it's all about marking your range. This is a range trend, right? So this is your classic range trend. If you go back to the beginning of this thing, you don't really have any 4-hour points. You can tell the trend has already started somewhere else. At that point, you can use your hourly as well. Right, so this would be like where your hour. So let's color code this properly first. So this is your ladder point. Break that ladder point, right? Create the floating level. Floating level hits and pulls back. So that's your trend right there on this. Well, let me make sure I got this right. I gotta sit up and look at this thing properly. Okay. Hourly, this can create a floating level, which gives you this right here as a reverse on it. You've got this right here, which gives you your trend right there. You already had this trend. That's the problem. You already had this trend. You would have already had something like this. That breaks. Nope, that's trend. It's right there. So this isn't trend. This was already in play. This is trend right here. So when I'm going to adapt this, it has to break the move first. So I'm going to adapt this and I'm going to start creating a cycle. So then I would adapt it here. If I'm adapting it on lower time frames, it just means I'm looking for like higher amounts of accuracy. This is still in play because you don't have a hard close on it yet. Here, it gets it here. All right, so that would be this guy here. That breaks, that would be this guy here. That breaks, this would be this guy here. So this trend, like one more and it's gonna snap. Like this is already, how many times was that a raid? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's like one more break on this and this range is broken. What's this one right here? One more on this and this range is completely broken, but you can see it's completely broken at that point. And then from here, you would just be on like an even larger time frame, right? Like you would just keep going up in time frames. That broke this part of it, but there's no levels here. So actually you could only just do this for your 4-hour. The only thing you could do for your 4-hour would be attach it to this for the future. You could only do this, attach it for the future, and hope that this would show you like continuum in the trade, continued move down. Oh, that's where we are now. Damn, I thought we had more play to hit. I brain lapsed on that one, thinking that we had like all this room. I wouldn't like you're just talking about cycles, yeah? So okay, let me read your comments here. Yes, that's what I'm not sure about. If you hard close a 1-hour trend, you just wait for the next hard. Yep. Or if you wanted to have more accuracy on a 1-hour break, you could start moving it down in time frames. This kind of more gets into like combo trends, which is where I've talked briefly before about, oh, you go from the hourly, adapt it to this level, adapt it to that level, adapt it to the next. That's kind of alluding towards combo trends, which is something I just haven't talked about, but combo trends are a real thing. Trends are levels, right? So if trends are nothing but levels, as I talked about in the beginner's course, then so are levels. And if we have combo levels, we have combo trends. So doing that kind of hourly to 15 to 5, that's more looking for your like combo trends. I probably just twisted things in my mind. No worries. We'll get into combo trends next month. It's part of the new material about like how to use them properly. And then Nuke says, turning a scalp into more than a scalp, the hardest thing for me and our team. What are some things we should be looking for in regard to that? How do we mesh implied odds with what we see? Yeah, so that's a good question. Tops and bottoms of ranges. Your 10 out of 10 on the largest time frames make for... here's like a quick hack. Okay, like you already know that this stuff up here is the top of the range, and you already know that this is the bottom of the range. So the closer you get, if you have like a bunch of levels, right? If you have a bunch of levels like here, 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 and then like here, 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 and you also have levels like here and here, the closer you get to the tops and bottoms of the range means there's nothing left, which means the move is polarized. Like the more inside of a complete range you're in, the more inside of the complete range you're in is the more scalp trades you should take. The further you target along inside of this range, the further you go should define more of like your swing trades. You wouldn't be taking swing trades here. You wouldn't be taking them here. Unless the range is showing you that, right? Like we go to Bitcoin, maybe that would be a bit of a better example here. Do this. Like here's your range. We already know this is the 4 hour down here. So if you're rebuying here, it's more of a scalp. Oh, sorry, it's more of a well, it's for a scalp that turns into a swing. If you're buying closer to the top of this range, it's the same thing, right? Like 22.7 is the 4 hour level. We all know that. 4 hour origin is like whatever up here, 22.7, right? Yeah, right here. When you get to this point, this is a swing trade. Like if that level hits, your implied odds are you go back down here. So you have to think about targets targeting targets. So if you have a 4 hour up here and you have a 4 hour right here now, it's going to be bouncing between these two. And possibly if this holds, it's accumulation time frame larger. So if this holds, then you would hedge and go long from this point to see if you can turn this into that swing trade up here, right? So the closer you are to those outer defining bounds, like right now, it looks like what might happen in Bitcoin is that the range might look like this. And if this is true, if this holds on the bottom, it's just going to create your like daily trend. Like you're just going to have some kind of daily trend like this in the future where it hits. You're just going to have the bigger trend, right? So like the closer you are to the edge of the red box, the more you should be thinking about implied odds. And then that goes for all time frames. Like if you were down in 5-minute time frames, try to find an example here. Maybe even like 15s. Yeah, I sound like Jason Momoa there for a second. Wait, is that 2 candles there? 1, 2. So is there possibly an origin here? Did we hit this 21.8? I don't think we've hit this, have we? No. Okay, so this isn't an origin. Is there anything else? Hourly, but we haven't hit this. If hourly here, that's broken, so it can't be that. I'm just trying to see if there's any origins in play. I haven't really looked too much, to be honest. Origin here, but that one would be broken, I believe. This one might not be if it's tested. It is. So okay, so we don't have any origins here. That's fine. So you are backtesting this, right? You're backtesting this whole level right now. Okay, that's fine. So was this an origin that it backtests? Like it hit this, create an origin, broke down. 1. No. Yeah, yes, but not really. Okay, so if that's the case, then that means this needs to ladder it, right? What time frame is this? Time frame is this origin? Like a 5? Never broken, broken. Can't be a 3 then. 15, tested, touched. So it's a 15. So then you have to ladder off the 15 currently, and that means you're kind of moving down, right? This would define a swing trade right here. Yeah, that would define a swing trade. And its target would be the ladder 15 point on the other side. Unless there's an hourly that I missed? No. that tested? It is an hourly. No, because this is the point that broke the move down. So that's what's going to hold it. It's the 15. So where's your 15 target on the other side? Because this side we know now is laddering. So we know this side is laddering. Got an origin here. I wouldn't use an origin though, because an origin is not really going to tell you if this move is holding or laddering. Got to find that same 15-minute trail. Here to here to here to here to there. Already hit that. So this would have been your target. Like this would have been, like you can't even really say that though, because that already happened in the moment. Let's walk back even further. Okay. So where does this move start? Right here. 15-minute, that's fine. Which means this 15-minute, this one will be next. That's fine, right? Because this was a reverse, right? You never tested it on this one. You never tested it here. So you did test it here, which means if it does test again, setting up a queue of reverses. So that's where you get this, which is that 15-minute level. So then you would be here. This one is tested though. Wait, let me double check. Okay, hold on. Here, it would be here, right? It would be here, which means then this one will be next. So that's tested there. It's fine. So this one will be next, which is tested there, which means the next one will be somewhere between here and here. That's tested. So did you create an origin off this test? Because now if you're testing this and you have nothing left in the move, so there's no hold levels above here, you have to hold above this. Did you create kind of some type of origin here that's holding up this 15? Because this would have been, so when is this targeted? So this is the moment that is targeted. Where's my replayer tool? So it's targeted here. So you have to go to your next point of your move. So what is the percentage here? 2%. That's your swing trade is 2% right there. So you'd be going to like right here, something like this. Like I guess you just have to measure like your entry, your 15-minute exit. Come on, dude. You can say because that tested an hourly, you would be going and testing an hourly on the bottom side somewhere. But I wonder if that's where you get that 1 hour origin test down here. Okay, that doesn't matter. That's so irrelevant right now. That's just like my own brain wondering. Because you did have an hourly back test there, so you might have had an hourly test on the bottom. Holding the, it's actually kind of important for right now. But this is the hourly test also right here. So it also did test this hourly, did it? Well, it does because it tests the wick. So that's fine. So you have hourly hold on the bottom. Is there an hourly origin? Because if it's targeting the hourly origin, I'm going to leave this yellow. If this is targeting the hourly origin, it means if it keeps holding down, it's going to break the move. So if this keeps laddering down, time frames and lower time frames are holding it, this is going to break. Is there any 4 hour? 4 hours not important here. Yeah, nuke, that's how you have to start looking at it if you're trying to turn these things into a swing. So that targets this. This holds the 15-minute down, which is also a back test of this hourly. So that hourly gets hit. It needs to reverse this in the future then. So if it reverses this in the future, so if we go up here and stop here, you need to take this. This would be a good like spot to take a swing trade. Because if this holds it down, it breaks the move down. Instead, it holds a 15. So I don't know, maybe this move isn't done pushing up. Maybe it's going to have one more push up to this level. If this 5193 holds it down, it's a swing trade because it's going to break it back down to the ladder point off of this. So that's how you would define it. You have to look at kind of like where the polarity in the move is. So the next thing we'd have to do is we have to say, okay, is this indeed what it was targeting? Just from a quick glance, I want to say yes. This is an origin. There was a 4 hour though here, I believe as well, right? Because there's this one, which is a 4. There's this one. So this, it's going to target this 4 hour origin here, but it already did that 4 hour origin. So it's going to target this. So then you have to take it back to here because there is an origin here. So this would have been a good swing trade from this point here. Come on, dude, shift. Hello. Let's try this again. So trade like that. You have to define like the outer polarity of the move. In order to see those swing trades, those are the spots you take them, where you can kind of walk through the move, define it, and then understand the polarity. Hopefully that helps, Nuke. I think it should, but the swing trades are where you define those polarized points and then you say this polarized point, if it holds, can go attack the other side because of reason X, and then that allows you to say, okay, this is a swing trade, not just a scalp. Anything prior to those targets being hit is not. I don't even know what all this stuff is anymore on my screen. I just like random stuff I'm marking throughout the day here. Yeah, it does help TA wise. It makes a ton of sense. You just have to have the patience and discipline. The key thing is to identify the right parts of the move. And that also goes back to the RA questions we've been receiving today. Like, the key is identifying the correct pieces. It is as straightforward as that. If you can identify the correct pieces, you're gonna have a good time. If you can't, like RA wise, TA wise, you can't identify those correct pieces, you're already fried from zero. You have to be able to correctly identify the points of polarity in a chart. You have to be able to correctly identify what's actually being tested on a chart, like highest time frame down, to make sure you don't miss any critical information. And you have to be able to say, like, okay, let me identify this. This is what, like it. You have to identify that, because if you're missing something bigger time frame, it just means you're missing the bigger parts of the trades of the swings, like daily time frames, 4 hours, hourlies. If you miss those and you're just going based on 15 to 15, you're missing like another box. It's like a piece of the set is missing. You know, it's like you have a 8-piece container set, but you only have 6 of the 8 pieces. You only have 3 lids and 3 containers, but there's like supposed to be a bigger one. You know how when you buy those like containers and they're all stacked inside of each other and it looks like you're buying one, but you like open it and there's like 85 containers inside of it? It's like that. Like you're just missing one of those containers.